share?
There's not much there, but.
It's more than I got.
Yeah, my wife gave me my $10 allowance for the week, so,
You get 10?
yeah, I gotta buy
Wow.
gas, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do.
I would suggest you find a bike.
How you gonna get home?
In the wind, in the wind.
Downhill.
Get your sail out in case it's windy.
Yeah, it's not like when you were a young lad going to school, right? And all coming and going to school is all uphill.
In the snow?
Yeah.
That's what I always heard.
Even in the middle of summer.
I have got,
Some of these
So
back lots, we
many
could put a couple
useless.
moonshine
What's that?
stills there and get some,
I get so
some
many,
kind of
I
high
got,
Junk?
steel.
God,
Yeah.
man,
He complained about
She's doing okay.
useless
She's
junk.
in some pain.
yeah,
The
yeah.
ones I hate that call me with the spam that get through my break off, and then I get ducks
I
quacking
wasn't
in
even
my
in that
ears.
thread. And
So if you look at me and you hear me quacking, it's because a spam call got through.
I can't confirm nothing. I have no idea.
I went,
Sure.
last, no, this morning,
I had a C-section
I had 80
for
emails
7
at
days
38
after.
spam.
I mean, they didn't
Oh.
take anything out. They did for 7 days. I was gonna die on the day. I want something more, so tell her to hang it.
That thing I just showed you. It's like, no,
It's
we'll
like
get started
overnight.
and then
Do.
when you're running, it's everything up and running. That's messed up. Laughed at it too.
Well, and I had a baby too, you know what I mean, that makes a big difference.
Beth
So what
Burnett.
I'm saying is, you know, with the C-section, I had a
Talk to you right now, Bessie.
big distraction.
Somebody's calling you.
You be a ringer.
I think the volume's up high enough.
Yeah, I would say, do you wanna turn the system off before you speak?
Yeah.
Hurt their ears.
We'll wait till Ray comes back.
Travel safe.
Smile pretty.
Oh, that was a
please.
wine flask there.
It's streaming, but I don't think there's any sound. Maybe you just can't hear it.
Okay, we all set?
Do it.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order of the Planning Commission. Lori Kuntzman and Cindy Parson are absent with excuse. Everybody else is present. Did everybody get a look to see the minutes that Scotty sent out?
Looks good.
Did you get any corrections or comments?
No.
Okay, good. So we're all set there. Okay. First things first, I want to talk real quick about the ACE program. This is the educational opportunities we have. It's called, you all get a copy of this in just a minute. It's from the Arkansas Municipal League, and it's called Civilpedia Certification. It has modules on municipal government, municipal finance, human resources, planning and zoning, and freedom of information requirements. This program is, to make it simple, you have to download Adobe Education. It's an app. It's free. You register, and then you can go and register for the program. I've gone ahead and looked at it. So far, it's let me register, and there are no fees. If we do run into classes that have fees, then what we have to do is we have to pay for it ourselves and then get reimbursement from the treasurer. Or you can take it to the treasurer and have him use the city credit card. I tried to set it up with the municipal league for us to have an account for our members, and they told me the system will not support it. So we'll have to make things, a little more difficult for you guys. Most of the modules are about an hour long, and I don't think it's anything terrible. I'd rather us do it at our own pace and your own convenience. I do think the information's worthwhile. Anybody have any questions about the ACE?
Explain that a little bit more.
Okay. It's a program put on by the Arkansas Municipal League,
Okay.
training people in kind of advanced civics about if you hold a position like on a committee or something for a city.
Okay.
And it has 5 different modules: municipal government, municipal finance, human resources, planning and zoning, which would be important to us, municipal government and planning and zoning, and the Freedom of Information Act laws that we have to abide by. While you're not required to do this, I'd highly encourage you to do that so that we can do that. The important thing is you have to download. I tried to register multiple times without having the Adobe Education app, and it just gets all filed up. As soon as you download the app on your phone or your computer or whatever, registration is very easy. Okay?
Yep.
Any other questions about the course? Okay. The second thing is, I got a call from Mr. Johnston. They have and you probably saw in the paper, there's going to be a public hearing coming up about a change in zoning request. Okay? And and as you know, planning and zoning is updating all of their regulations and things for zoning. And he asked me whether or not I had any input, and the only thing that I said is that it makes sure that we have the things that we addressed in earlier meetings that we don't have in the plan, but beautification and amenities like landscaping and things like that should be included in the zoning when it comes up, so we don't have to go and backtrack later and redo it again.
Well, I don't get the papers, I haven't seen it. What is going up for?
There is a request. Apparently, the campground over at Crown Point is being sold, and I believe it's being sold to KOA or some investor. Anyway, because it was never zoned properly for a campground, in order to sell it or whatever, they need to have a change in zoning. So there's a public hearing coming up. I didn't write down the date, but
I believe it's the 28th.
the 28th of this month, and I'll be out of town. But I would encourage anybody that would like to have input on that. Scotty, you're on planning and zoning also, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For zoning and adjusting, we're planning to do
It's
that.
zoning and adjustments.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not
sorry.
going to interrupt you when you're getting it all correct.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Sorry.
everything Bob has said is what's happening there. And then, we reiterate, Ray was there as well, we reiterated several times that there will be a restructured zoning that will force whoever purchases to make improvements.
Good.
To live up to the requirements, because apparently the sewage system isn't working properly, apparently. And when you start doing that stuff, you're gonna run into an increase in electronics. You're gonna run into vehicular movement increases. And then, I think, and the beautification, we talked about trees and stuff. And Raul had mentioned that the party interested, and we don't know who it is, but, well, he wasn't saying it at least. But that the last project they worked on, they had planted over 700 trees on the project. And that resort needs trees on those campgrounds for the trailers.
Yeah.
What day did you say?
28th of April.
28th of April is
Is
the
that what
public
it says?
hearing.
May 21.
May
Here.
21 now? He may have
Yeah.
changed it then.
Well, that's the second one, that's
so
the
we
second
have
one, there are 2 hearings.
that.
It's April and May.
Okay,
Oh, the 28th one, he was doing, that's the other person that was on the corner lot.
Oh, that's the corner lot one?
Yeah,
there
that
on-
was,
on
that was for Dream Street or
Green Street.
Dream Lane.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so since you're part of it, I guess a question is.
Yeah.
What happens, again, hypothetical, what happens if the sale does not go through? Is it still required for Pat to make improvements if the zoning is?
I think if you, and quite honestly, I'm not answering with total knowledge of what's gonna happen there. But I will tell you this, I know that we're talking, when we rezone something, it's gonna start coming with conditions on a rezone. So if you rezone something and someone makes that purchase, they gotta do the improvements. Since he's already there, it's almost like, what do they call it, grandfathered into the situation he had existing prior. And we can't necessarily lay the improvements on him. But if he sells it, we lay those on them.
yeah,
Well, I guess
I
I
do
would
have
only-
go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah,
No,
go ahead, ask.
it's my understanding that the campground is placed in, it's not zoned for a campground. to
It is
begin with.
not.
So what's it currently zoned as?
It's
Multifamily.
residential multi.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not the campground.
yeah, it's not campground, that's for
No.
sure.
It is not the campground.
All right,
So it's being zoned for what? Is it?
No, it's.
The rezone, you mean?
Yeah, the rezone,
The
sorry.
rezone would rezone it as campground. It would facilitate campground, but that's something else I think he has to address in updating the zoning rules, because I don't think there was anything specific to a campground. He had to rework that.
No, there's
Was it?
40 some odd acres beyond the campground moving toward, Tri-Lakes.
Yeah. It's-
Okay, that right now is undeveloped,
Right. It was
And,
40.78 acres.
something like that.
Yeah.
And, it was improperly zoned years and years ago. And this just corrects and brings it into the proper zoning bucket.
okay.
And after that, what happens is, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But that's what this.
You want to make it correct.
Exactly.
And our goal is to put the pieces in there for the landscaping and all that, but
All the requirements.
all the requirements, but we have to have, we would need legislative authority with which to do that. That means now that's going back and changing those ordinances and bringing them up to date to the building code. I forget what building code we're referencing now, but to bring those all up to date, the zone code. But,
I guess my question is, I'm not against it, but let's say, again, like I asked, if the sale falls through and we don't require him to go forth with what we're stating for the new owner, is he not getting more valuable property in return of this zoning being
I think.
adjusted for him? I mean, it's going residential
I-
camping.
Can I say something?
well,
It's listed as non-conforming right now,
Well-
because it was zoned wrong when they built that.
I'm- I'm going to think if there's no improvements made, then nothing then nothing has to be
Currently.
done.
Correct.
But,
Right.
okay,
No, it's listed as non-conforming, so there can be
Right.
nothing done to it right now.
It's
Right.
coming as what I would call grandfathering in on the old rules.
right, so nothing can be done now, but I'm saying
If he
if
was
we-
to try and do anything after we change the zoning,
well, yeah, he's
he
within
has
his
to live up
rights.
to the
Right,
requirement.
Right, but I'm saying, okay, is there, and you might not know, is there any contingencies, like it has to be rezoned for this new person to purchase? Is that part
No,
of the agreement? or
typically
anything?
when you're rezoning like this, you should put yourself in a position where you're keeping blinders on as to ownership, who exists on it. You're looking at rezoning it to make it legal to what it represents. In other words, you have a campsite sitting there, you rezone it to be a campsite. And I don't care who owns it, I want it to be zoned properly, but I want it to have the contingencies when improvements are made. I don't think we can force anyone to do anything
Right, no,
till he
understand
does
that.
an improvement, or tries to make a change, or wants to put in more pads, or he sells it, and then we get the benefit.
How come he didn't do it, if it wasn't zoned correctly, then how did he build a campground on a place that wasn't zoned correctly in the first place?
I'll tell you what I was told. It was done improperly way back when it was built. Whoever did it didn't go out and make sure the zoning was correct. They issued him a building permit. So to try and force that issue now would put us in a terrible legality or a difficult position to fight him in court, saying, well, it wasn't zoned properly, so you can't do that after he's done it.
Why
You-
did he do it if it wasn't
He
set
w-
up for that?
They didn't stop him. They didn't go in and check the zoning.
Yeah, they
It
did
was
stop him.
They didn't go in and check the zoning.
Yeah,
Well,
the
that's-
previous
that's-
zoning-
Sewer system.
So that
That's-
comes back in our bailiwick as a city not getting it right.
We're way off track with our discussion, so
Yep.
let's
Yeah, it's-
maintain our focus about
But
what we're doing.
I just want to say this, that's the reason why we have this planning commission now, and the reason why Planning and Adjustments is updating all of their things is so that in the future, as we move forward, these kind of things will not happen again. In the past, I can't address that,
not.
but it looks like things were kind of like laissez-faire. You do whatever you want to do, and that was what was done. But nowadays, we're gonna see if we can do this where things are more planned and that you actually have to go through the proper steps in order to do something correctly. Okay?
Okay, I just have a quick question before I move on.
Yeah.
For future reference, because obviously this is one that has to be rezoned for the specific reason. Later on, should something like this come across planning before it goes to zoning? I mean, let's just say in general, yes, like,
Yes.
there's a big parcel of property
You-
across the highway.
You're starting to gather what planning does.
So again, so
It
now
should
that it's in the
come here
paper,
before it
really-
goes there.
Really should have came through here if this was a whole brand new thing. Come to planning and say, hey, that's not really part of the plan of Horseshoe Bend. It should not go onto zoning and adjusting.
You got it right, you're right.
Well,
And-
I believe the process is that it does go through planning and zoning first, but then it has to, or zoning first, and then it has to be forwarded to the planning committee. And anything that gets rezoned, it has to be going in front of council. Council's the ultimate decision on
Yep.
that. It's not the zoning committee, it's not even the planning
Right.
committee.
What he was asking though, Dan, is shouldn't it have come to planning before it went to zoning?
Correct, well.
And
I
we
think it
will
goes to
be the
zoning
push
and then
button in the future, I'm pretty darn sure how this should work as the planning should have had it first. But this planning commission has not been set up properly, and we're taking notice of that and adjusting. We're working with zoning on it, so, and you
Well,
know
yeah,
that.
and that's why I
Yeah.
was asking, it's like.
Yeah, it's gonna reverse, and I don't think they'll have a problem, but I'll tell you that, they're doing a good job in the zoning section, making sure they work with us on what should be in the city plan.
And there'll be multiple public hearings before this whole.
Yes,
process.
it can't move forward, and even though we could give approval, the council can change.
Correct.
So that's what I was gonna ask. So even if the verdict comes back that there's people who don't want it, the council can still then approve it
Yeah,
regardless?
yeah.
Okay.
Mayor, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Here.
the whole key is to get these to work
Yes,
hand in
ma'am.
glove.
I ask a question
Sure.
for clarification from Scott.
Yes,
Say this is rezoned,
yes.
all right, and he doesn't sell it, does that mean the city has to make all those improvements?
No.
No.
No, they'll sit there, it will sit there and until he tries to do something, then he'll have to live up to the rezone. And then he'll have to make the commitment if he doesn't sell it to make improvements if he tries to do something.
So the city's not gonna be on that sewer no matter what?
No, the case that I'm saying there is you're stuck with grandfathered in because of the title of zoning now being corrected.
Until he tries to make any improvements,
Right.
then
Yeah,
it would have.
Then
if he
comes down.
comes to
Am I
the
correct?
city and asks
So
for a
far.
building permit to do something like to improve the sewer system or anything else, at that time, the proper zoning will kick in.
It will
And then
kick
he'll
in.
have to make the improvements.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
The current RV park is, we'll say, kind of a messed up deal that's trying to be corrected.
Right.
Is that what we're hearing?
Well,
That's one project.
that's not our
Now,
problem.
The next, well, what I'm gathering here is the current RV park wasn't zoned properly, it wasn't, that's a mess.
Oh, yeah, that part,
So
yeah, that's
been
our problem.
corrected, but now we've got another parcel of undeveloped property. Is both of them getting wrapped up as one project to get rezoned, or the
I
vacant land?
cannot answer that question. I do not know.
No, they,
I'm hearing there's two projects.
I
No,
believe that
no,
it's,
no.
it's both.
the RV park is sitting in that same acreage, if
So the
I'm
whole
correct.
acreage is one
It's,
parcel
it's
or
one
whatever
piece,
we call it.
it's one big
No,
piece, or is it two
no,
separates?
two separate.
Okay, I
There
stand
should be-
corrected?
There should be two projects.
There are no projects.
There's
Well, I
nothing,
mean, you got a corrective project, which is already there, we can't pull the RV park out.
right, but it's not a project, it's finished.
Well, I'm using loose
Okay,
terms, so the
okay.
other half is still vacant.
I'm sorry.
The other parcel is vacant with nothing on it.
Right.
One's got campsites, one does not. We're correcting the current campsite, and then we're rezoning the other one that has nothing going on in it.
It all has to be rezoned.
As one project or separately?
No, it's all being rezoned as one location.
No,
Is it?
no, the request is just for that undeveloped area. That's the rezone request.
So the RV park that's still standing will still be zoned residential after this is all done?
I don't know. We just got one request, so.
I don't,
That's something we'll have to get into when
Yeah.
we start getting the public hearing, we start listening to these things. All we got's a piece of paper right now.
yeah, that's a good point.
I guess I just assumed it was
Those are all good
together.
questions.
So
Those are the
did
things
I.
we have to get answers.
But that's not a safe position to take. It's clarification
Well, and that's the
because
thing, so now
we
it's
got
like-
embarrassed by this apparently whenever it was done the first time.
Well, that's what I'm saying, so if the new portion, if this is the way it goes, if the new portion gets rezoned, there's really only, I guess, grit from the zoning to go after that new portion and nothing at the old one. If I
No.
understand it correctly, because if that,
You're
if
correct.
that's
If
not
you don't
rezoned,
rezone at
yeah.
all, you have no grip on the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're not gonna allow that RV park to sit there and approve it for half of it and not
Right.
complete the whole process. You'd make it all RV park or camping or something to,
That's why I would say it would make more sense.
I'd like to kind of wrap this up because now we're getting into the business of planning and adjustments. And
Move
it's
on.
not our bailiwick.
Sorry.
So,
So, there will be adequate hearings and things like this to get everything straightened out, okay? I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of the fact that I was contacted by Planning and Adjustments, and I couldn't attend the meeting. Zoning and Adjustments, and I could not attend the meeting. But we have members that are on the planning commission that are also members of planning, of zoning and adjustments. So we're gonna make sure that if things get done, they get done correctly, okay? So getting back to the business of coming up with a master plan. The next thing I wanted to
That's all I have.
discuss
I don't have
is
anything
this, the upcoming survey. since we don't have Lori here, she sent me an email. She has pricing options for SurveyMonkey. Now, let me bring you up to date. I met with the recorder treasurer, and he authorized our educational expenses. So you could, if you do come up with a course that you want to take that has a fee, you go to him and you can register, and he will put it on the city credit card.
Yep.
Or I would suggest that you go ahead and pay for it and then apply for reimbursement.
Yeah.
But the ACE program should be pretty much,
Right. The one thing I wanted to add is, and I'll keep dropping this hint, is we should all do it together so that we can ask questions among each other. As we go through the planning process, we need to all be on track and on target for this city.
yes. That's what I said. I think since we all have to register individually, what we can do is have additional meetings and say, get course 1 done by this time, and then we can sit and discuss it if we want to do something like
Yeah.
that, okay?
I
But
think
I'd
so.
like everybody to download the Adobe Learning app and register for the course and start off at least on municipal government, okay?
Yep.
And then we'll go from there. Okay, back to our survey. Lori gave us 3 ways that we can set this up. We just have to determine which one we'd want to do, and then we can go to the recorder treasurer and have him make an account for us on this. She has an individual account, which I rather not use. They have a team account that has, it allows all the team members to collaborate, okay? And she has a starter program, which is basically just do a survey. So,
I mean, for what we're doing, I think the team advantage is probably the best suited.
and that's what I thought too. You should have that. It follows that facing page on the educational programs. Should say starter program after her email.
If you keep going, there's one that'll say
Yeah.
Down
team.
here farther.
And there's one that's the team. I'm just gonna review very quickly. The team is $30 per month, with that three users. It's billed annually. You get 50,000 responses per year. We'd,
More than enough, I think.
I would think so. You can collaborate with the team, so we could have the 3 members of the survey team essentially running the survey. Okay. And it includes unlimited surveys, forms, and quizzes, and things like that, so they could design this how they want to do that. If we wanted to have a survey and have it ask people on their water bill, or however we wanted to do
We'll
it.
just put a link to it. They can
Put a
type
link
in.
to it, they can go to it, and then we could go do it that route. That'd keep our costs down, so that we'd only have to spend for that, so.
Right, we don't wanna fire that up till we're ready
That's
to go.
I'm just gonna-
Exactly right.
I'm just gonna ask you, you probably don't know the logistics of it, but is there something within this that we can, like, someone has to, when they click on the link, they have to sign in with a name and address, or is it gonna be everyone is able, and I can click on it as many times as I want, and I can
No,
get
that
a
is-
response as many times? That's,
To answer your question, Lori brought that up at the last meeting. And that's something that, the committee, aren't you on that committee with Lori, or no? I thought you were.
yeah, the survey committee.
Yeah, the survey, okay. she needs to probably have another meeting and decide how you guys want us to approach that. I don't think we're gonna sit here and solve that.
No, I
tonight.
didn't know if he knew if there was, if
Yeah.
there's a,
No,
once the
we
link is
didn't
clicked
answer it at
on-
the last meeting.
Okay.
And that's something that has to be
yeah, I mean, it really needs to be
resolved.
looked at because,
Every time I've taken a survey in Survey Monkey, it asks you for your email address, and then it only allows you to fill out the survey once per email address. Now, like I have 3 email addresses, I could probably fill out the survey 3 times
Right.
and skew the results. But most people don't have multiple email addresses, or probably could care less about doing it 3 times or
Well,
so.
you would certainly hope that people don't have that kind of motive, but I guess,
Security key.
what's that?
Ask for a security key.
Ah, see,
Yeah,
That
there
way
you go.
they can't use multiple emails.
Okay.
that would all be logistics through survey.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you knew, if you
Okay.
knew the answer or not.
No.
so.
remember what Gail said,
Yeah.
when you guys have your meeting.
Security key, got it.
Okay. Okay, getting back to my meeting with the court treasurer, we as a
I got a note on it.
commission do not have
Okay.
a budget per se. However, we fall under the city's purview for certain items that necessary for us to work. And if it's something that we need, we go to them and they will make sure that we get it
Okay.
within reason, okay?
Well,
So, like doing the Survey Monkey, signing up, something like that, will be something that, they would fund, but they were not gonna give us a dedicated budget for ourselves,
That's fine.
yeah. Okay.
Survey Monkey is usually, Survey Monkey usually will charge extra if you want a security key. That's why I said ask them about it,
Okay.
because they usually,
Okay, so,
their surveys are very open.
Okay,
so, since we're moving now, I need to start building the map so we can start laying out the bubble diagrams and working on the approach.
yes.
And,
If you go back to the, email from Lori,
yeah,
the person we need to contact is, Chris Bigness to discuss the city street plan and how to get an update city map.
okay.
Okay, I can do that.
You wanna track it? You track that down?
Yeah, I will be glad to do that. He just dug up my yard because the city had a water leak, so,
Are you still on airport committee?
Such good.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
And then the other 2 things she suggested, we have here, an airport committee report. Have them come to our meeting and make a report on their 5-year plan. Would you be in a position to do that, or?
No,
You got half the airport committee here.
Yeah.
no,
we-
the person that should present that is Eric.
Okay,
Yeah.
Eric's the chair and he knows that material inside and out,
Right,
and
I'd only screwed up.
can we have him at the next meeting?
I'll ask him.
Okay, I'm gonna assign that to you then,
Yep,
since
you
we
and I
know
are going back and forth.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
doing maps, okay, Bob's got maps.
Yeah, the last date I have on the map that the city hands out is, 1986.
Yeah,
Well,
Ooh.
that's fairly current.
Would you
I wasn't even
quit?
born yet.
So that was the date the map
Does
was
that
issued.
sound familiar?
Do we the
Would you
court
quit?
just put money in for a map of Izzard County, would that include, updating that?
Lord, I would hope so.
No, I don't know, I just,
When I was doing, Census Bureau, and for the 2020 census, there was a map of Izzard County that I gave all my people so they could find. But it was not, it was detailed, but it was not detailed to Horseshoe Bend particularly. Okay, so, it had Franklin, it had Melbourne, it had all those.
that it? Yeah, that's it,
2017.
yeah.
So, I don't know how much they would, how detailed they would get with Horseshoe Bend.
Yeah,
well,
and,
just like that one,
okay,
Look,
you have
I-
to be careful, because when you have a map, it shows, and if you go to a plat, it shows all kinds of streets and lots and stuff like that that don't necessarily
there.
exist.
You
Or
see,
they're there and you just don't know they're there.
Yeah,
all I'm gonna do basically is take a map, we're gonna make sure it's got the proper streets in it and the proper sizes, and we're gonna start blowing it up, and we'll do segments. We're gonna go after the center of town
Yeah.
and the community first here.
I think there's a bunch of these
Okay.
in the city hall.
And I'm gonna take it, blow it up, and we're gonna get ourselves what we call trash paper or rice paper, what do you wanna call it? And we're gonna start doing circles, and we're gonna start what's business, what's health and care, what's playgrounds, what's, entertainment, what's food, and then we're gonna start pinning those down and seeing how things can work. And then we have to start thinking within the goals that we're placing on paper where things are gonna go and start working them into that puzzle. This is gonna be a real test of where we can get to, because the community that we live in needs to have a reliving, a new life, a nice heart in it. And I think we're all interested in that, and that's where we wanna go,
Be reborn.
reborn.
Okay. Dan, do you have a generalized maps and everything of all the green spaces we have in the city?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, would you be able to, I won't be at the next meeting here, but would you be able to make a presentation on the city's parks and green spaces?
Sure.
Okay, we'll have it at the next meeting,
Okay.
okay? So we'll have,
Dan, Eric, and Chris Bigness? Or
Yes.
are you gonna do it on behalf of Chris?
Well, I'm waiting to see where we're at. I had one question for Dan, since you opened that up for
Sure.
a minute. Have you got a place for me to put a table up there? Or you got a table up there?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I hope no one minds, but when we're working on bubble diagrams, it just doesn't work here, and we shouldn't be doing it during our actual meeting time. We'll do those bubble diagrams, and then if anyone wants to see, you need to make it a little public so people can look.
I
We'll
think
work.
that's illegal. It was illegal for us when we were on the planning commission. We had to set up here at these tables.
No, this isn't the planning commission meetings. This is just design time. It's not the same.
So it's not anything to do with the.
I have already cleared it, it is okay. As long as
Yeah,
we're
it's
not
not the same
meeting
thing.
formally as a committee, okay?
Yeah, this is just laying it on paper and doing stuff. But it's a good question, Gail.
Mr. Vanderpass,
Oh, of course. Okay.
It's a good question.
it's a good question, valid question. Yes, but I told them that we have extracurricular work that we need to get done outside the formal meetings, but it is not binding until we actually bring it to a meeting. And he
Yeah,
said
I'm
in that
just
case,
saying, that's not how it was for us.
I
Yeah.
remember,
The planning commission you were on the planning commission before then?
Yes, I was. I got removed.
And what I
Because I
will
know
tell you is,
I
the
know.
planning commission that you were on is totally different than what a planning commission should do. So, we're taking a whole different direction. It's not a bad direction, it's a good direction. And your planning commission will do more for the community than the old planning commission could do, because you're trying to help direct things in construction and development. You're looking to get things in a positive fashion. The old commission was working on reaction.
No, we weren't.
Gal, I'm not gonna debate, I'm done.
Right.
Go
okay,
ahead.
all right.
Thank you, though.
I think we've got that, so our next meeting, we're going to be discussing the maps. We have a report from the Airport Commission, and we have a report from Parks and Recreation on the green spaces. I'm gonna ask you one thing, Dan, there are green spaces that are platted that do not exist as formal city parks, like the Ben's Creek area and everything else like that.
To get that
Do you
big
have
half of the
access to
road.
those? Okay, cause we'd like to see potential green spaces
Yeah,
also.
there's quite a few of them.
Okay, yeah, especially the area that we looked at where the ABTV park is and the other areas within the city. I'd like to know where our potential green spaces are, so, okay. All right. Does anybody has anything else on that subject before I move on with my little to-do job?
No, go ahead and move on with yours, you're after.
Okay,
the
demographics, okay. If you could move to the next pages, the next one comes up, it says Izard County, Arkansas. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of demographics. Now, this is the entire county, okay? We have a whopping 13,577 people, okay? And this is just the basic demographics right here. So I'm just gonna move on from that. The next set is for 72512, which is the zip code for Horseshoe Bend. And again, it's just the demographics. These are updated as of 2024, I believe.
I was just gonna ask what the.
Yeah, they're 2024, just so that you know.
So, okay, never mind, you're good.
Okay? And this is just for your own information. Then I found this site, which is really cool. It's called Simple Maps. And the first one we have, I think it's like 3, 4 pages, 2 pages long. They're all 2 pages long, is for the zip code for Horseshoe Bend. And it has the simplified demographics, such as 39%, 39.7% are working. Average family size is 3.2 people. And healthcare, 1.9% are uninsured. Has the household income on the first page, demographics as to race, what the average rent is, and all this kind of stuff. So I have that for Horseshoe Bend. Then for neighboring zip codes, 72536, 72587, 72584, 72539, which I believe, and then which is Franklin, and then we have 72513, which is Ash Flat. So all our surrounding zip codes, I have the same demographic data for us to be able to look at. And it comes up pretty much the same for all of the zip codes.
Very nice.
And this is a space called simplemaps.com. All you gotta do is type in the zip code and it gives you this kind of information. Is there anything else demographic-wise you would like to see? Other than the material I gave last time about businesses in Horseshoe Bend. All these areas except for Ash Flat basically don't have businesses. I mean, there's some businesses in Franklin, but very few. So the 2 main centers of commerce in this area would be Horseshoe Bend and Ash Flat.
All I'll say is I'm surprised that the median household income is as high as it is in Horseshoe. This
Well,
doesn't.
It can be skewed because there's people that are retired.
Because it's all retired.
Right.
Yeah, it's retired people, so it skews it.
Yeah. It's all retirement, so
Yeah,
that's
because
what
if you
skews
notice,
it.
employment is only 39.7%.
Yeah.
So that kind of gives you
Yeah.
a little
it?
hint there that something's not
Well-
quite right.
Not to mention that, what was it, 36 businesses in town?
Yeah, we have only 36 businesses.
But
Just,
then you look at, oh, well, never mind, that's Franklin.
Yeah.
Same with Franklin, though.
what's that?
We have 36 registered businesses in Horseshoe
town.
Bend.
That's it.
That's it.
I'm surprised there's even 36.
Yeah.
You see, Gail, we all agree with you.
Yeah.
Are they like individuals
It would be,
selling
yeah.
things out of their own?
It could be a landscape,
What?
a lawn mowing business, it could be
Yes.
anything.
There could be businesses
It's
that are
not a
working
brick
out
and
of
mortar.
Yeah,
home.
that's not a good number
Yeah.
then.
No,
Let me see.
and you'd be surprised what they can be, and,
Yeah, that just skews the.
but when you have a community of almost 25, 24, 50, whatever you wanna call it, 36 businesses is not supporting this town.
Yeah.
This town's being supported simply by our tax dollars.
I'm surprised of Ash Flat too, cause it's only 33.5%
Yeah.
working, and their medium income is less than.
Just to give you an idea,
They're loaded with
for
retirees over there, too.
72512, the total population is 2507. 18.4% have a bachelor's degree or higher. 1,267 housing units are occupied. 36 businesses, and medium household income, 46,449. Employment, this one is a little bit less, according to 2024. This is the census data, 35.7%. 1.9% of the population does not have any health care coverage. And
That's not good.
and our total housing units are 1,267, but the total households, families we have, are 1,027. So there's like a surplus of housing of 200 units, which are vacant or rents, or I have no idea what the discrepancy is.
And according to 2024, our median age is down to 50, basically 54. So I mean, it's dropped significantly over the last 10 years, I would say.
Well, it's fun, if you went in and looked, it's just incredible what COVID did to the birth rate.
I mean, we have 500 people under the age of 16.
Yeah, this town, in the demographics, from 5 to 10-year-olds, we have 19. And the girls outnumber the boys 2 to 1. So it's like 13 girls and 6 boys or whatever. 0 to 5-year-olds is 123. You wonder what we did during COVID.
We were locked in our house.
It's kind of like what happened after the great blackout in in New York, yeah.
Yeah, and it's still 2 to 1. 2 girls to 1 boy.
That's you guys' fault.
That's right.
Where were those odds when I was a young guy?
I don't know.
Yes,
That's every,
excellent information.
When I was a young
We
guy.
just probably have to pursue more on the business end to know what they are. We really need to know what the businesses are if we can in the demographic.
okay, knowing what the businesses are, I guess the chamber would know that?
Yeah, I
will
think we'll
contact
pursue
the
it. You
chamber.
wanna pursue the chamber?
I
Okay.
will pursue, here, let me write down my notes. I have to get with the maps with Chris.
And that's the kind of
Actually,
information
it
that,
wouldn't be the chamber, it would be city hall, because the chamber would only have people that have signed up with them.
Right.
City hall would have everybody who has a business license.
Okay. What was that?
That's true. Can you operate a business out of your home without a business license?
I'm sure they
Depends
do,
on what
supposed
it-
to.
you're not
but I'm
supposed
not
to,
sure
but
it's
depends on what it is.
registered on the list then.
Yeah,
but what I was,
It wouldn't be counted.
yeah,
in
that's,
yours.
Right, it wouldn't be
Okay.
one of the 36.
okay.
What was your point, Ray?
well, that's the kind of information, once we identify where the businesses are located, those are the kind of things that we're gonna drop into our neighborhood bubbles.
Yep.
Say, this business is, you know, in this part of town, this part of town. So we'll start to identify where that is, and then we can start to tie the demographics. And look what else is needed to, in the future, to help incubate and grow businesses within that particular area. And then we'll really start doing our job when we get to that. We're not there yet. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
No.
long time before we get there.
Nope. We're on a good path, but
So do you have a 5-year plan?
Not
that's
yet.
what,
That-
that's
that's
where
what
this
we're
is
working
going.
on.
That's what all
This
this
is where this is going. This will be what you would call a living plan. And it will be addressed about every 2 years or every other year.
Hopefully it'll be longer than 5 years. You know.
And it will live longer than 5 years, because you want the plan to continue on.
It's dynamic.
And that's what we're doing at the airport as well. I mean, I've been building these plans for 46 years.
Yeah, but we need to get businesses in here now, not in 5 to 10 years.
No, we will agree with you entirely, but you can't rush into it without knowing what you need. I mean, you can go out and guess, and then you're gonna hit a wall because you're not prepared for what's coming. You don't know if you have the infrastructures for the things that we really need in here to run this place. And we don't know, well, enough said.
We don't know.
Yeah,
We don't know.
We don't know. We don't even have a place that we could call our downtown. We have an
That's
area.
right. We have an area we call downtown.
Yeah, yeah. So, now that's all that I had to present. Now I'll go around the table. Does anybody else have anything they want to bring forward?
Okay, so we have, next meeting, we got several presentations,
Hopefully.
hopefully. Now, and the goal with those presentations, again, this is just information gleaning right now, right? That's what we're doing, is just gaining information.
Yes.
Okay, so there's nothing,
No, we're not gonna cut to anything.
nothing that needs to be done with this other than listen and try to move these eventually into a long-term plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I would like to do, to give you something more, okay, is try and start building the map to put the things together so we can start overlaying with trash and get onto the bubbles. We need to move so we can, it's like Gal saying this, we need to have something.
We'll
And,
find the maps first.
yep, gotta go track the map, so if you can put that forward,
Yes.
and then you and I will talk between now and the next meeting, so I can get something started, so I can report to the
I'd
group.
like to meet with you and work on the maps. I definitely do. I'm pretty familiar with the maps because I did the bike trails and all that kind of stuff, so I like to
You'll
to-
get an
to do
eye
that.
opener.
I'll talk to Chris and we'll get everything rolling from that end.
Yep.
Okay. Uriah, can you get with, it's Cindy and Lori for the survey. Let's start putting together the survey. We've got some
Yeah, we got
demographics.
that now, 'cause that was one
Okay.
of them we were waiting on.
And I'll get a list of the businesses. Anybody else?
I'm pursuing mapping both bubbles,
Right,
but,
yeah.
okay,
Yep, I'll work with you on that, Scott.
okay, you gonna work with me?
Yeah.
Well, what do you
Okay.
need to do? Nothing? We didn't even give him anything.
He just showed up for the first time here tonight.
Doug's got all the airport stuff.
I don't understand half what you're talking about.
He's been pretty busy swinging the golf balls.
Yeah,
He's
right.
got all the airport stuff.
You don't play anymore, do you?
But,
Do you still play golf or no?
I go to the golf course.
Yeah.
Now, whether I play or not, that's the question.
You walk around a lot, okay.
He's not walking, he's riding around.
Right, okay.
I do not have anything else to add, so
You've heard enough from me tonight.
I agree.
Do we have some type of examples of,
I would like to pull get a hold of some communities in the state of Arkansas about our size and see what they have for the master plans, if that's what you're gonna ask.
exactly, sir?
Because I need to do that or want to do that. You have any sorts? I know you were pursuing park district stuff, you might have the other. Then you and I will sit and talk which ones we wanna hit,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, because I think it'd be nice if we had some examples. I can get with, remember we had the brief Zoom call?
Yeah.
And I believe
She would know.
She would know, and I will get with her and see if we can get some examples. Not that we want to cut and paste, but,
No,
like
what you're gonna ask for is somebody's master plan.
right,
Because they'll have books, and when you produce a master plan, you pass one out to each of your facilities within your structure of your city. In other words, you'd have one in streets, you'd have one in water, you'd have one, in the office for just public perusal, and you'd have one for the city workers. You're gonna have the print plans, and then you gotta produce plans that you're gonna pass out when you go after grants and things like that, because they're gonna ask you right off the get-go, what do you have for a master plan?
Well, and I'm assuming you guys will both know this, but we're gonna go after towns of similar size and structure, right? Not just every.
Dry
Right.
count,
By the way, I
towns.
said that when I made the
Yeah,
statement
no,
to him.
dry
Did you?
towns
Okay.
seems to be pretty similar.
Maybe I missed that part. But
You
yeah.
did miss that part, because it'd be senseless to go over to Jonesboro.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
that's why I wanted to throw it out there.
No, we gotta have something similar in size that has a plan, but.
I think
see-
Gail's right though too. She said
I didn't hear it.
a dry county,
Well,
something
yeah,
that's-
that always affects things, mostly alcohol, but, but it will affect the approach we have too on what we do. I see a nice piece of the bubble being with the Church Street and stuff like that. I mean, this community has a lot to offer, we just don't do it right.
yeah. I mean, you can look at places like Mountain View, similar size, things like that.
And it's not that we don't try here, the elements around us just don't help us.
Right.
You just don't have enough to run with. So we'll get there.
Okay.
And gal, so you know that the only way I'll ever know this plan is working, I'll be in my grave, but when that street light's working out there, and there's enough traffic to have a street light signal, it tells me something's happening in the community. I probably won't be alive to see it.
Notice you said a street light.
Yeah.
Or
I said a
traffic signal, yeah.
traffic.
Well, I hope it's in
Like-
my lifetime to see it.
You're a lot
I hope
younger
it's
than this
within the
old
next 5
coot.
years, you guys. We really need some
Well,
change in this town.
You'll see that, but
Well, all we're doing is losing people. In fact, your numbers are completely wrong. We no longer have 2,440 people here. We're down about 225 people. And more than that, because people are moving out, especially with their kids, saying,
we don't offer anything.
well, of course we don't, because we old timers want it to remain exactly how it's been, with the golf course and nothing else. And they say, we don't want any kids, it's a retirement town. Well, the truth is, they've come, and we need to take care of them, and provide city things for them. And it's time that we start making changes, and I'll shut up.
Gail. She's not wrong. I
You're
think
not
I
wrong.
hit
You're
you with that,
exactly right.
2 meetings ago. I
Yeah.
nailed you with that
No,
one.
I'm not
And
wrong.
you
I
and
know
I,
I'm not wrong.
you and
That's
I,
why I speak up.
Gail, you and I speak on the same terms here. It's not been done right ever.
Half
No,
of
it
the members
hasn't.
of the golf course are kids. So.
We're not talking about that. I mean,
No.
that's just part of the master plan.
No, yeah, you're,
But we're getting deep in the weeds again, which
Yeah.
we're not there yet.
Let's break
stay
out.
on track,
good job.
you know.
Okay, next meeting is, May and then June. I probably will still be in Florida for May and June,
What's in Florida you can't have here?
grandkids.
Oh, damn. I'm not gonna beat that one.
Oh, I thought you were moving.
You
Did
can
you
have
guys
grandkids.
decide that too?
We're not
You
moving.
can have grandkids.
That's why I'm
Anyway,
going north this week.
The,
Okay, Okay, next
I
meeting.
have a wedding on the 12th of June, and I have a graduation in May. So I won't be at but I want to be included.
I was asking if you can be available by phone.
I want to be available by phone, but I want to let Cindy know, of course, she's not here tonight, that she will be chairing the meeting.
Yep.
And if she's unable to do it, you guys have to decide who you want to run the meeting, okay? I'm just letting you know, I'll be
You
back.
haven't done anything else, so.
I told you I'm stupid, I don't know, I knew what you're talking about.
Oh, please.
Okay.
Adobe Learning?
Is there
Yeah, I
anything
know
else
how to
that you
do it.
guys want to bring up before I open it up to more questions from the?
No, May 7th, do you want to cut an agenda for the next meeting since you're not going to be here?
I'll set up, I'll have an agenda done within the next day or two and send it out, okay? But I'm leaving the 13th of April. And so I'd like to get with you at least by phone. Yeah. So we'll talk about the maps and everything else like that. I'll get with Chris tomorrow,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, the sooner you and I nail it down, the sooner
Yeah.
I can move. I will be back on Monday.
Okay, so you're gone till Monday. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'm
next
going to
week.
go see grandkids.
It's a short trip. Should we be gone for a couple months?
St. Louis.
Yeah.
It only takes me 4.5 hours.
Yeah,
He's gonna
no.
wait in the line that long.
It takes me 3 days to drive there, so, to where I go, in South Florida.
Okay.
Anybody in the audience want to bring up any other questions or concerns? Any ideas of what we are supposed to be doing that you would like to add? Because eventually, we're gonna be coming to the public with this
Big
to have public input when we have something a little bit more formalized,
Presentable.
presentable, yes.
Several meetings.
Yes.
It will
Several
take a
meetings.
while.
Okay. All right. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. That was the fastest meeting yet.
Thank you, guys.
7:20.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.